Good afternoon. It is time to boiler up and hammer down on this Tuesday, April 2nd, 20 and the 24, 1:52 p.m. on the Swatch Watch here in the rain fields of Valparaiso, Indiana. Checking in here. Believe it or not, have no positions expiring so far this week. Why'd you have a little bit of a Irish accent there? Oh, probably been watching too much of The Last Kingdom with Uhtred of Utenberg, or wherever he's from. You need to watch that show, though. It's on Netflix. The Last Kingdom. Uhtred, one of my favorite characters in a show so far. So we're down today off our all-time highs, but not nearly as bad as the market would otherwise have treated us because I got out of a bunch of positions. Because if you look back here, hey, we were at all-time highs at 2 a.m, but I am currently out of all oil, all gold, and all silver positions, and those have been really, having a nice, they were leading the way. They were leading the way in my portfolio for the last couple of months. So did I get out early? Looks like it, but that's okay. So we do have big news, though. What is the big news? That would be, we don't want a t-shirt. Purdue, boiler up. Hammer down. Purdue heads to the Final Four, starting a celebration 44 years in the making. There's Zach Edey. That's who's going to lead us to a championship. So I'm excited about that. Got a good matchup against NC State. So I think I'm going to size up that championship ring and order me one now. You shouldn't talk like that. Well, I mean, it's exciting. My girls go to Purdue. My wife graduated from Purdue. We visit Purdue often. So very exciting for us here in Indiana, especially us Purdue fans. Other news not as good. Tesla sales plunge far more than expected. Very true. So their deliveries were way below what the estimate was, and that has caused Tesla to go downtown to Chinatown today, currently trading at 165.46. I came really close to selling a covered call yesterday on my shares, and I thought I'd just roll the dice, take my chances, and maybe deliveries will surprise to the upside, but no, they surprised to the downside. Tesla's sales drop, a sign that its grip on the EV market is slipping. That's actually fake news, so imagine that coming out of the New York Times, because Tesla's still kicking everyone's keister. It's just EV sales in general have gone downtown to Chinatown, so that is happening there. I have discussed Elliot wave theory many times on the channel. I've been a student of Elliot wave theory and Fibonacci retracement. This is a video that I think is something you should watch if you're interested in Elliot wave theory. This is at Tom Crown's channel. The video is explained. Elliot wave theory analysis made simple, trading strategy for beginners. And then you see kind of the outline of what we've talked about before. Wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 typically is the longest wave, cannot be the shortest. So that's the rule in wave 3. 4 and 5, that would be an impulsive move. Typically an impulsive move is then followed by a corrective, which is an ABC. But I don't have a big enough grasp to explain it clearly because I haven't been around trading for very long at all, just over a year now. I do have the ability to amateurly read the charts based on Fibonacci and Elliott wave, but I still have way much more studying to do. So take a look at that video if you'd like. I'm going to dig up some others to share with you as well, because I've watched so many, I've read so much, but it's extremely confusing. Again, it's not a crystal ball, but it does seem to impact the probabilities in your favor. So that's what we're looking for, right? Because today is another sell-off day, which we're not used to. We are not used to. We've had like 5 consecutive months of green for the most part. So we have 2 days of sell-off and people are ready to jump out of a building. But what of course is up is gold, silver, and oil. But I'm out of those positions as of yesterday and locked in some dollar bills for myself. Got that going for me, but wanted to look at some things that I am patiently looking at, which patience is a virtue here, I think, when it comes to trading. And I have been very patient lately, and I'm very proud of myself with some levels that I'm looking at. So currently we're looking at this is the SPX, which trades basically the S&P 500, and it can be traded in futures, etc. Currently at 51.99. And what I'm looking at is a couple of things. Does it meander sideways for a couple of more days, or does it continue down? If it does continue down, the first red flag, the first real red flag, according to Fibonacci retracement, would be if it breaks under 5,100. That would be flag 1. Then obviously flag 2 would be if it continues to grind lower and breaks under the $5,000 mark. We'd have to really take note. So I don't have a great deal of concern for that. It could easily continue down for the next couple of days and not breach the 5,100. And then if it begins to make its way back up, which I think is the probability right now, that we're looking at 53 to 53.50 on the S&P 500. So that's what I'm looking at. So that I'm going to be patient. If we get down and we bounce on the 5,100, then I will probably be making some trades accordingly, believing that it's going to 5,300 and above. Gold, 210 currently. Gold has just been riding on up, right? Moving on up. Let's look at like 1 month just to see the movement of this thing. Ripping all the way up. My current theory is that we have a bit of a drawdown to take place, maybe as soon as the next couple of days, maybe by early next week. And it should come back down. Now I've got my fingers crossed, only because I have high hopes for gold in 2024 and 2025. I have my fingers crossed that it will come back down to around 200, and then it should bounce at 200. So if we get close to 200, I will probably be investing a decent amount of money into gold. It'll be it'll be in 3 to 4 different areas. One will be GLD. You've seen me trade GDX over and over again. And then you've seen me trade GDXJ, which is the junior gold miners, only once, and I made a nice profit in that. And then, of course, regretted selling all those shares. But I'll be looking to get back into all three, GDXJ, GDX, and GLD on the gold side. Silver, what I'm looking at is for it has some more movement, possibly to get up to 24. And then I'm looking for it to take a little relief trip as well, so that I can load back up. And I'll be looking at SLV, which is the silver ETF, and then also AGQ, which I like to trade, which is a leveraged bull on silver. And I've done pretty well in both of those, SLV and AGQ. Alcoa, got out way too early on Alcoa. Currently, it's at almost $36. So we've made two different swing trades on Alcoa, but we definitely got out way too early this last round. But that's the way it goes. But if it does pull back, if these precious metals pull back, then Alcoa will pull back as well, and we'll jump back in on that. Oil, I'm looking for it to pull back as well. Well, that's probably makes sense since you got out of all those positions. But again, it can continue to grind higher. What I'm looking for is and this is the USO, the U.S. Oil Fund. I'm looking for it to come back down. I'd say probably under 74 is going to be very interesting. And I'd love for it maybe to go all the way down to 70 before then going up to 100. So we'll be looking at those things patiently. I may have missed them all, and we're just hitting the third wave on all three, which would be the gold, silver, and oil. If so, it's just part of the fun, right? I'd rather lock in some profits early than regret not doing so later. Remember, I don't suffer from FOMO. So I have that going for me. Just wanted to check in real quick with a short update and to celebrate my Boilermakers. Thanks for tuning in. I do have some excitement, so you'll probably see a baseball card video soon. I know you love those. Don't roll your eyes. You do. Got a bunch of cards back from grading. Bunch of vintage cards, mostly all baseball, but I do have at least one, maybe a couple football cards. Have a handful of modern Ricky Henderson cards, which is my favorite player of all time. So I'm excited to get into those. Of course, I have all my grades predicted, so I'll be doing that soon as well. So you can tune off if you have no interest in baseball cards, but you should because it's fun. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next video.